Miss Panda, and we are going to be talking about leaf rubbings today. Leaves and trees are actually pretty cool, not just to look at, but there are a lot of trees out there that like absorb toxic gases or grow in really harsh environments and stuff. There's actually this podcast, if you like get permission to get on your computer, it's by Radiolab, and it talks about how trees actually communicate with each other through their roots. So if one tree gets sick, it can send out an alert system through their roots, and all the other trees know to kind of like close off absorbing nutrients so they also don't get sick, which is pretty cool if you think about it. Trees don't have brains, but they can like talk to each other and stuff. So for your leaf rubbings, you want to go outside and collect different types of leaves. We would like you to get all of your leaves off the ground from like they've fallen off the tree already, but if you can't find any down leaves because it's spring and the trees are still growing, it's okay to pick a leaf off of a tree, but don't like strip the tree bare, right? Just pick one leaf off of each tree. You want to look for leaves that have really pronounced and deep veins in them, because that's going to make it the easiest to see when you do your leaf rubbing. If it's really flat on the back and it doesn't really have deep veins, it's going to be kind of hard to see what the leaf looks like through the paper. So after you've collected your leaves, and I've got a few different types, I like to kind of like do a practice round with my leaf rubbings to kind of see how much pressure I need to put on the crayon and on the leaf. If you push too hard, the leaves still have water in them, right? So if you push too hard, it's gonna get all wet and gross. So you don't wanna do that. And if you push too lightly, you're not gonna be able to see anything. So I always do like a practice sheet, and it looks nice and pretty, like a nice piece of art. Your mom might wanna frame it and hang it on the fridge or something. In your bag, you have your leaf journal and a couple of crayons. So after maybe a few practice runs to see how hard you need to press, you can go in and do your final copy of your leaf journal. So I've done a few where I have an app on my phone that kind of, if I take a picture of a leaf, it'll identify it for me and give me a couple of facts about it. There's a bunch of websites that you can use to do this. There's a couple of apps through like the iTunes store and stuff like that. So I've gone through and I've done my leaf rubbing and then figured out what kind of tree it was from. This one is from a red maple right outside the back of the office. And then I've kind of tried to identify what makes this leaf special. So lobes, which are like the points on each leaf. Some leaves, like this one, don't have lobes at all. It's just like one solid leaf. So that is what makes red maple special. So I've kind of like identified that, identified the stem, and identified the blade. There are a few like different things you can point out. Like this leaf that I showed you before is a compound leaf because it has 3 leaves on each stem as opposed to just one solid leaf. So that makes those special as well. So I'm gonna show you like a special way that I like to do leaf rubbings, and then you can test things out and see if that's how you like it too. So when you are doing your leaf rubbing, this is the page that I'm gonna do my rubbing on. So I wanna put it behind it, and you wanna make sure that you're doing the back of the leaf as opposed to doing the front of it, because the veins are more protruding on the back. So I've got my leaf laying down, face down, and then I'm gonna close the page on it, take my crayon, and then usually I like to start in the middle to try to get that center vein, and then color in as I go along. And if you saw before I closed my book, this leaf has a really big center vein on it. So it kind of makes it hard to get in close to that. So sometimes if you turn your crayon sideways and do tiny back and forth movements, it'll get in those smaller veins. Now, it's okay if you color outside the lines. We're not going for this perfect, beautiful rubbing because we're using crayons, right? So if you color outside of the leaf, that's okay. You just want to get a nice picture of what the leaf shape is and all of its veins. So after you've done your leaf rubbing and you want to learn more about the plant that you took the leaf from, you can look at the websites. We've added links in below the video, or if your parents are okay with it and getting an app on your phone, you can look up some cool things about each of the plants. Like behind the office, we found a white mulberry tree, and it turns out that white mulberries have a great ability to absorb dust, smoke, and toxic gases. So a lot of like chemical plants, if they want to have nice greenery outside of them, they'll plant white mulberry trees because they don't get harmed by the gases and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So after you fill out your book, you can share all the fun facts with your friends and your family and teach them about the wonderful world of trees as well. So thanks for hanging out with us this week for Curbside Camp, and I hope you had fun with leaf rubbings.